Buy the AfriCell 4 Mbps Mega Bundle for $2,700 at any AfriCell outlet and get a Mi-Fi for free. No time for buffering. Speed, Lenoir. Walk into any AfriCell outlet today and buy your very own AfriCell 3G smartphone for $2,000, and on top of that, receive 15 gigabyte of internet data valid for 1 month, all for free. Looks like a free phone to me. Now, it's time to get yours.
Walk into any AfriCell outlet today and buy AfriCell's durable dual SIM 4G smartphone for $2,600. Comes with 2 SIM slots, a memory card slot, camera, FM radio, and to top it all off, 25 gigabytes of data for free. Valid for 1 month. Remember, at AfriCell, we cater for all. Your door to the future.
Walk into any AfriCell outlet and purchase the AfriCell 5 Mbps Mega Bundles for $3,300 and receive a CPE router for free.
You open a car, man dem na auto suma boste AfriCell rek.
Hello and welcome to the Star TV Newsroom, broadcasting from our studios in Serekunda. I am Seydou Camara and thanks for joining us. First with our headlines. NAWEC embarks on cash power meter upgrading mission to fulfill global STS. Kiang West 87-kilometer road project nears completion. NAFO's board members advocates for closure of fish meal factories in the Gambia. On international news, solidarity with Palestine. Envoys of Arab and Muslim nations gather in Moscow. Israeli forces kill Abu Akleh without justification, UN inquiry finds. North Korean refugees, Shell calls on Beijing not to return escapees. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. The National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC, on Tuesday held a press briefing to shed light on its new token identifier rollover for cash power meters. This upgraded system is in fulfillment of the global standard transfer specification in the electricity sector. Maria Madem reports.
The current software for all prepaid electricity meters in the world will expire on the 24th of November 2024. Therefore, all prepaid meters must be upgraded to meet the global standard transfer specification in the electricity sector, which the Gambia is subscribed to. Otherwise, consumers won't be able to recharge their meters to have electricity. As the token identifier known as the TID rollover event is fast approaching, electricity utilities across the globe, including NAWEC in the Gambia, are fully prepared to meet the deadline for implementing the TID rollover on November 24, 2024. And in a bid to inform the public about the new development, the management of NAWEC on Tuesday, 24th of October 2023, briefed journalists about their level of preparations and what warrants the upgrading system quest. Nani Juara is the managing director of NAWEC.
The STS compliant issue has to do with tokens that are being generated by our vending systems that can go into any meter that is being manufactured by any manufacturer. So as such, the STS, they have a timeline for tokens that meters can accept, like any other software developer. There are timelines for some of them, and they will require some upgrades. As we speak right now, the STS has notified all utilities around the world that the tokens that are being used now, that is being generated by our vending systems, will not be accepted by our meters by the 24th of November 2024, latest. That's the latest date that they have notified all utilities around the world that we have to endeavor to upgrade the existing meters that we have, so that at least when we upgrade those meters, by the 24th of November, all these meters will be accepting any token that is generated by our vending systems, provided the meters are upgraded.
As many electricity consumers are concerned as to what will happen to their meters with this new upgrading system, the NAWEC boss emphasized that the process will not affect or warrant the changing of existing meters.
We don't have to go and replace your meters. You don't have to do we don't have to buy new meters and replace them. No. What we are going to do is simple. Your meter numbers are already registered with us. When we upgrade your meter numbers in the system, 3 tokens will be generated.
A task force committee has been instituted by the management of NAWEC to implement the project, and Ibrahim Awai Job is the project manager. He explains how the 3 tokens generated during the upgrading process will be used.
Instead of the 20-digit numbers that you are traditionally afraid with, now you will be issued 3 sets of 20-digit numbers. What these sets will do for you naturally is when you key in the first set, it will be the same even if you do not use an electronic receipt, because we know some of the people don't go into our physical branches. Those who would use mobile apps, we've tested. Like, you use some of our third parties, you would still have 3 sets of numbers. Now you are advised to key them in that order. The first one would clear the meter memory, and the second one will now update it, and the third one, like MD says, naturally is the credit token that you buy. Now, what we advise people to do is, before you even load, look at what your meter balance is. Before you even load, take note of it, clear the thing, and once you load, you will now see that that credit is not affected. Because some people are also speculating rumor that if you clear your meter memory, hope the credit that is in there would not be affected. But that's not the case. And what we are telling you is not something that we read in books or we are speculating. We have tested this ourselves by volunteering our own meters, and we are in line. So it's a very simple process. We don't want anyone to create the impression that it's a difficult thing. It is meant for all of us to be able to do. And
the implementation process will be done in phases, starting with NAWEC staff, which is already underway.
We are starting first. First phase is with the staff that we're starting immediately now. Our second phase, we would be starting with the North Bank and LRR regions. The third one, we are going to the URR, CRR regions. Then the fourth phase would be in the Greater Banjul area, and the 5th phase would be in the West Coast regions. We are rolling out with the staff meters effective this month. So by next month, if they still have meters or tokens lying down that are not entered into their meters and the key change is effected, that token will not be accepted again.
As some people will capitalize on the new development to enrich themselves in the name of helping consumers to update their meters, Managing Director Nani Juara has this to say.
In every situation, some people want to take advantage. People can use this and start defrauding our customers. Be wary of this kind of situations. People can use this kind of situations and start defrauding you and make it as something that is complicated, that you will need somebody's help and you need to pay them to be able to do something for you. You don't need to do that. Please, whether it's a NAWEC staff or a non-NAWEC staff, whoever comes to you and asks for money to be able to support you to do this upgrade, know that the person is a fraudster. And please bring it to the attention of the senior management of NAWEC, and if possible, report to 169 or 1669, and the necessary steps will be taken.
Meanwhile, 1 month will be given to customers to enter their tokens purchased under the current meters before upgrading them to avoid loss of units bought prior. Maria Madam, reporting for SATV News.
The major road project in Kiang West, being constructed by the Gambian government, is nearing completion. Officials from the National Road Authority, headed by the Deputy Managing Director of the authority, recently visited the project site to assess the progress and address the concerns of the residents. Our Baikor has more on this story.
A journey of hope and progress in Kiangkemoto village for 2024 as members of the National Road Authority embarked on an ambitious site visit to 87-kilometer road in Kiang West, one of the most remote and undeveloped region in the Gambia. Thus can be seen as the site visit intensify. However, the project aimed to connect several villages, improve access to markets with standard transportation service and boost the local economy. The Deputy Managing Director and his team were warmly welcomed by the villagers who expressed their gratitude and appreciation for the road project. They also shared their views and suggestions on how to make the project more successful and sustainable. Deputy Managing Director, National Road Authority, Suleiman Sumare Jane, expressed satisfaction with the ongoing project.
Right now, we are I think we have a remaining of about 13 kilometers left. Yeah, exactly. On the first phase. So right now, the contractor is mobilizing and trying to finish, basically, do a surface treatment on the remaining 13 kilometers. He has already done the base, and now it's only the surface treatment that's left on most of it. I'll actually, allow George, to elaborate more on the technical aspect, which is the technical director. George is a technical director for NRA, and he can give you a little bit more specifics as to where we are and what has been done thus far.
Alaji Dembo Kinte, a VDC member at Kemoto Village, and Fatu Njai shown their happiness with life-changing road project that is set to enable them to travel faster and safer, access more markets and services, and interact more with other communities.
Benare alfal be kontrol na kabirinja fo ofisoto. Nsewota bake musolu nin chawol men be aliye be jang. Sewole be fintindi. Because of ntole batata bake kiawes batata bake sila koto. Bari bi nyaaji yobota nyaatole.
Tolnya musolu sewota bake fo sewolanda tambita. Kanto nim pareta ntole pareta ka finto ka kole yambulu bake lan kabo jannan kan di bal fil jankata la sato we mane bar bi moto ke lam feñi sato kono fo fano ci korote ngawuli na di bal ko to bita da min to ngata na hajo kan ngam nga seyna anu nyim badale jam fana me kaje tan to la bal won ni na ciol bela bal wobe lori nyim badale to nin de mar fenata fafuta fo nday badale nan ha fo ngaja do kuta silo do kuta fo ha fo bala oto mun to le sewol de sewo me yalan ko dandula taala.
The road project will not only improve the physical infrastructure of Kiang West, but also strengthen the social bonds among its people. Kenneth King Johnson is the resident engineer of the Kiang West Road project.
We are working on 87 kilometers of roadway in the Kiang West, and presently it's on two phases. The first phase being from Sankandi to Karantaba, which is 39 kilometers, and the second phase is 48 kilometers, comprising of several inroads like Jali to Jali Mosque, Keneba to the riverside. We have Mandua to Tankula, we have Mandua to Joli, and we have also Kemoto to through Janekunda to Karantaba.
The community has shown a remarkable sense of ownership and responsibility for the project, contributing their labor resources and ideas. The road project in Kiang West is a shining example of how development can be achieved through collaboration and participation. The National Road Authority plans to replicate this model in other regions of the country, where similar road projects are underway or planned to take place. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Baikor.
Dauda Fode Sen, a prominent board member of the National Association of Artisanal Fisheries Operators, has recently come forward to advocate for the closure of fish meal factories in the Gambia due to overfishing concerns. This call is grounded in scientific research findings that highlights the overexploitation of small fish populations within the country. Awasane prepares this report.
The fishing sector in the Gambia is currently facing numerous challenges as stakeholders grapple with the need for more sustainable practices and responsible management. Dauda Fode Sen, a board member of NAFO, has raised alarm over the overexploitation of small fish populations within the country. He emphasizes the significance of scientific reports that highlight the excessive exploitation of these fish.
I share this opinion because on the basis of the scientific research, we have a scientific working group on the FAO we call CCAF. This is an FAO scientific working group looking at the small pelagic, because the small pelagic does not belong to Gambia alone. It's a shared stock. You get it today here in abundance, tomorrow it goes to Senegal, the next day it moves to... But the result of this scientific study indicates that both the small pelagic, when you talk of small pelagic, these are three main ones that the fish meal plant use. And this is the yaboy, you call it the Sardinella in English. There are two. We have the Sardinella aurata and the Sardinella maderensis. These are the round Sardinella and the flat Sardinella. In the Wolof we say yaboy tas, yaboy marok. And we also have the bonga. And these are the resources that our people are able to afford, are able to access, and able to buy. So if it is given to other fish mills to produce and give it to animals, give it to aquaculture farms, where are we going? Where is our food security guarantee? So I'm telling you, there is no fish.
Mr. Sen affirms that the overexploitation of fish creates significant consequences for the Gambia as to scientific reports.
The small pelagic are overexploited according to the scientific reports, and the management recommendation is that effort is reduced and the capacity to catch the fish also should be reduced. This is something that is the recommendation, but the governments are not doing it. States are not doing this. And even the problem of data deficiency. Our fishery, as far as the consumption of fish meal in the Gambia, is deficient. Even the report that Musa was presenting indicated that they could not get data as to how many kilograms or tons these 3 fish meals are consuming. They were able to get it through the ITC, International Trade Center report. So in the Gambia, nobody could tell you or can tell you how many tons these 2-3 fish meal plants, Gunjur, Sanyang, and Katong are consuming as far as our plants is concerned, our small pelagics are concerned.
Talking about the impact of the fish meal plan of small-scale fishers, Sen said the impact is enormous, relating it to overfishing.
And this relates to the impact on overfishing, on the impact on the resources. The resources are overexploited, and this impact also led the result of IUU fishing. We have illegal, unreported, and unregulated. Now fishermen don't mind. The money is there, the market is there. Let me catch everything. Anything I'm able to catch, I bring it. I bring the small one, I bring the big one, the unborn. Everything is caught and taken to the fish mill. This is overfishing. And in terms of access to the fish by our women, because our women fish workers are more or heavily reliant on this small pelagic, because it's more accessible, it is more affordable, it is more available. And in terms of put deep into your pocket and buy it, you cannot buy a chof now. One chof or one chof will cost you 1,000, 2,000, one fish, or more than that. But at least with the small pelagic, if you have at least $50, you are able to, you get this and buy something at the market.
Meanwhile, with regard to the reciprocal agreement between Gambia and Senegal fisheries and aquaculture, Mr. Sen urges the Gambia government to reconsider the agreement and engage the Senegalese authorities to see how they can engage both countries for mutual benefits. Awasani reporting for Star TV News.
From that story, we will now take a short commercial break, and when we return, the news continues. Stay tuned.
Wherever you are, send money to your loved ones with MoneyGram via AfriMoney, anytime, anywhere to the Gambia. No sending fees, no cash out fees. Simply go to www.moneygram.com or use the app and select Send through AfriMoney. Cash out at any AfriMoney agent and receive against $100 is free. Call 777 or dial *777# to register for AfriMoney in Gambia.
Welcome back after that short commercial break. If you are just tuning in, you are watching the Star TV Newsroom. Let's now take a look at some international news. Diplomats from a number of Arab and Muslim countries in Russia are gathering at the Palestinian embassy in the Russian capital Moscow. They are showing support for Palestine and denouncing Israel's war on Gaza. Al Jazeera's Yulia Shapovalova joins us live from Moscow for the latest updates.
Well, diplomats from a number of Arab and Muslim countries have been gathering at the Palestinian embassy in the Russian capital, Moscow. They are showing support for Palestine and denouncing Israel's war on Gaza. Well, for more on this, let's speak to our correspondent, Yulia Shapovalova in Moscow. Yulia, tell me who you've spotted at this gathering there.
Well, a number of envoys, as you said, of Arab and Islamic countries and states have gathered here at the Palestinian embassy, which is right behind me. So basically, they got together to support Palestine and condemn all the atrocities made by Israel. They blamed Israel for those atrocities. So obviously, the meeting was held behind closed doors, and after that, the ambassadors got a chance to talk to representatives of the media, and we also had a chance to speak to some of them. So the Arab League ambassador to Russia, as well as Palestinian, Syrian, the ambassador of Bahrain to Russia, and many others, they all were here.
Yulia Shapovalova there with the latest for us from Moscow. Thank you, Yulia.
Israeli forces used lethal force without justification when they shot and killed Al Jazeera's journalist Shireen Abu Akleh in the occupied West Bank, violating her right to life, according to a new report by a UN-mandated investigative body. The UN Independent International Commission of Inquiry on the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem and Israel, concluded on reasonable grounds that Israeli forces use lethal force without justification under international human rights laws. It says in a report released on Monday. Al Jazeera's Sibab Ratansi reports on the findings presented to the United Nations General Assembly.
This is just the latest investigation to conclude that Israeli forces are responsible for the killing of Al Jazeera journalist Shireen Abu Akleh, despite the Israeli government's insistence that no conclusion is possible.
We conclude on the evidence we found and on reasonable grounds that the Israeli security forces used lethal force without justification under international human rights law and intentionally or recklessly violated Shireen Abu Akleh's right to life.
The UN's Independent International Commission of Inquiry on the occupied Palestinian territory presented its investigation into Shireen's killing to the UN General Assembly as part of its regular report on the Israeli occupation. The inquiry presents a detailed timeline of the events surrounding Shireen's death, from her arrival at the Jenin refugee camp to cover an Israeli operation, to the Israelis suddenly opening fire without warning on her and others clearly marked as journalists, and then shots continuing to be fired as efforts are made to move her lifeless body from the scene. The inquiry's conclusions are clear. The area was calm before she was shot. There were no armed Palestinians in the area. There was no exchange of gunfire or any warning from Israeli security forces. And the Israelis aimed at the upper bodies of those they were shooting. Shia Britansi, Al Jazeera, the United Nations.
South Korea says Beijing is forcibly repatriating North Koreans who were arrested in China during the COVID-19 pandemic. Rights activists are calling on the international community to stop the stream of forced return, as many North Koreans will face harsh treatments for fleeing their home country. Al Jazeera's Inuk Kim reports from Seoul, North Korea.
Rights activists are calling for global pressure on China.
This is a photo of the victim, Kim Sun-hyang, 30 years old.
The family of this North Korean escapee fears a young woman faces imminent deportation. Kim is a mother of two and was detained last year for violating COVID-19 laws. She is among roughly 2,000 North Koreans believed to be arrested in China during the pandemic, to be sent back once the borders reopen, a process rights groups say has already begun.
Seoul has confirmed a large number of North Koreans were sent back from 3 Chinese provinces. Its unification ministry is saying it's working to prevent additional repatriations, underlining that under no circumstances should North Koreans be sent back against their will. China views these undocumented North Koreans as illegal economic migrants and says that its record of deporting defectors is in line with international law.
Ji Myung-hee is one of the success stories.
Those words, forced repatriation, make me numb with fear.
Words from an escapee who twice endured detention in China before facing torture in North Korea. Freedom with her 2 sons came at a high cost.
On my 3rd try, I resolved to kill myself if I got caught. The torture was unbearable. To this day, I can't erase the trauma.
It's unknown how many North Koreans have been forcibly sent back from China. Having lived through it, Ji is pleading with the global community to help stop the practice. Eunice Kim, Al Jazeera, Seoul.
Before we end the news, a quick recap of our headlines. NAWEC embarks on cash power meter upgrading mission to fulfill global STS. Kiang West 87-kilometer road project nears completion. NAFO's board members advocates for closure of fish meal factories in the Gambia. On international news, solidarity with Palestine, envoys of Arab and Muslim nations gather in Moscow. Israeli forces kill Abu Akleh without justification, UN inquiry finds. North Korean refugees, Shell calls on Beijing not to return escapees. That's all we have for you in this edition of the news. Do join us tomorrow for more news. In the meantime, do enjoy the rest of our programs. Thanks for watching.